So enough of that. Let's get into some real shit. Some
All right.
real.
Well, Fallout 4 was released,
Yes, it
and as I
was.
said, pretty much all my friends on Steam right now are playing. Makes me very jealous of
Every
everyone.
single one. Well, I'm actually not
But
online Steam right now.
I've heard very good things about Fallout, and I've
Hmm.
heard a few very good bad things. And I say very good bad things due to the fact that there are actually legitimate issues.
Okay.
So I figured I would go over and talk about that now and kind of see how anyone else feels.
Hit me with
So
it.
basically, the review came from a person um, on Reddit that had been playing for about 10 days.
Hmm.
So they've been playing for about 10 days now. And now, since the embargo is lifted now, he was actually able to write up a review and
Hmm.
kind of give you a glimpse of on how he feels. Now, he did say that the game does play awesome. Like the
Okay.
gameplay's great, everything's fun, everything's awesome, the characters are great, whatnot. But he said the one major issue is that you have about 5 hours of nostalgia, and then after that, it's a downhill struggle.
Really?
So like,
Or uphill
yeah,
struggle or downhill
or
struggle?
sorry, uphill. Yeah, uphill. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I don't know why you would be struggling to go
Yeah.
downhill.
By the way, CP
Anyways,
Master, feel free to post whatever
yeah, go
question you
ahead.
like, man.
A- Ask anytime, man. We'll get
Hmm.
to it. And so his biggest issue was that it's not as immersive as New Vegas.
Hmm. Okay.
Basically, New Vegas was done by I think Obsidian
That
Games,
sounds right. Yeah.
uh, and they had a lot of more characters and dialogue than any other Fallout game.
Hmm.
Well, I should say Fallout 3, because that was
Fair
really
enough.
the only one that else that was that was out.
Yeah.
He said that it's kind of lacking that, and then he wishes there was more to it
Hmm.
than just a basic storyline of go here, pick up this and whatnot. He
Yeah.
said there's still a free roam possibilities, but he said that once you get past the nostalgia and you realize what you're playing, you're just playing almost a nonsensical game.
Hmm.
Um, the one thing that I had to say with that is that that's how I felt with every Fallout game. Like no matter if I've played it or not, eventually you're going to get to the point where it's going to be very repetitive.
Yeah.
Like the one thing that New Vegas had that I did like, I will say, is that it had a ton of characters that were awesome. So
Hmm.
they had a lot of not character development, but they had a lot of characters that were just fucking off the wall awesome.
Nice.
So, um, yeah, I it reminds me of a character. This is like, let me just give you an example. There's a character in Fallout 3, being just off the wall, whimsical, that you go to this little camp called Camp Lamplight, right? And Camp Lamplight is run by nothing but little kids.
Oh, I've
Okay,
heard about this. Yeah.
so there's this guy there, and it's his birthday. And once it's your birthday and you get old enough, you get kicked out. And you have to take him somewhere. Well, the whole fucking time that you're escorting him somewhere, he keeps just asking. He's like, "Hey, when are we gonna make it to Big Town? When are we gonna?" And he just fucking keeps saying shit. Well, in my game, he died on the way of me taking him somewhere, but he can survive.
Okay.
But as we were playing, so Tyler was trying to play Fallout 3 on Saturday,
Okay.
and I kept telling him that he needed to fucking kill all these kids, and he was like, why would I kill them? And he was like, you can't attack kids. I was like, there's mods for that. And then Brad immediately turned around. He's like, oh yeah, there's mods.
Oh, Brad would know this.
Yes. Well, Brad's the first person I know that specifically got Skyrim and then tried to immediately go up and kill a child. and when he couldn't, he immediately found a mod that somebody had made,
Yeah.
that allows you to kill everyone. And then he proceeded to Fusro children off the mountain.
I mean, why else would you buy the game?
Right. So. But yeah, so I thought it was a pretty good review as far as kind of explaining like the ups and downs of the game in an overall standpoint. It didn't go into super detail,
Mm.
but he said that the modification system is incredibly awesome, and like building your own armor and stuff is really cool. So
Nice.
I'm still happy. I'm still excited for the game. I do want to play it, and it looks like everyone else is just having an awesome time. So.
Yeah. That's what matters. That's what matters. Yeah.
And it's fall.
And it's Fallout. What more do you need? I mean, it's Bethesda in their most Bethesda state. I've heard that the game is really good and that it is hilariously glitchy, which again,
Yeah.
we know what we're getting ourselves into, but
Yeah.
like glitchy, like not like game crashing, but just stuff bounces around and physics
Well,
is everywhere.
I've seen that the physics engine is actually tied to the frame rate. Did you see that?
I did not know that.
Yes, so the physics engine, or the speed of the game, I should say, is tied to the frame rate. So depending on your frame rate, that's how fast the game goes.
Interesting.
So a guy did a test, and he like basically was swinging his arm, and he had it do it at like 60 frames, 128 frames, and like 250 frames. And as he was moving up, his arms were swinging faster and faster. So
I
yeah,
kind of want to see this.
it was pretty funny.
That sounds awesome.
And CV Master, you got a PS Now subscription. So I had. Oh, you have a PS Now. Okay, so is that the subscription for playing games on the PS4 that are kind of old? So it's like the emulator service that they have, or is this the because this isn't PS Plus? You got a PS Now. Okay, now I understand.
It's more
So
immediate.
what's my opinion on the PS Now service? Personally, having used PS Now, I think it's all right. I think it's kind of weird that the subscription itself doesn't include all the rentals. So like, there's still games that you can rent for hour basis. So like a lot of games are like, oh, you can play 12 hours of this game for like $3 or something like that. I find it odd that if I bought a subscription to this service, that I couldn't play these games with my subscription. I had to actually still pay for those.
Yeah.
So I kind of find it weird, but I think the service itself is awesome. They just need more games. They just need something that kind of I want to play. Add in all the old Final Fantasies or something. Add in 12 or something, and I'll play the fuck out of that. So,
Was
but
this a newer service?
it's kind of new. I'd say it's probably like 4 or 5 months old.
Okay, newish.
But yeah, it's basically an emulation service. So.
Yeah, I got you.
I like it. They just need to kind of fix it and listen to the people. Something that Sony is fucking notoriously bad at.
What was the one you were talking about last week or two, Justin? Oh, there was one that.
You mean whenever? Oh, so yeah, I was just talking actually to my friend today, the guy that I'm working with. I was actually talking about. I was like, yeah, like 10 years ago or fucking 5 or 6 years ago, people were like, yeah, can I please change my PlayStation, name? And Sony never fucking got back to them about it. Like, everybody wants to change their fucking name. No one wants their name to be the fucking things they made when they were fucking 13 years old. Funny, a guy I graduated with her on on my Facebook, because his name's Alex. His
Good choice.
username, he does not want anymore. Like, he made it obviously a long time ago, and he made it for his PS3 when he was a youngin, and didn't think before he put something in. So obviously he wants his name to be changed, but he wants all of his achievements still.
Yeah.
Well, Sony comes out the other day, and then they're like, hey guys, here's a new poll. Does anyone want to change their name? And like, I think about it, and I'm just like, man, they don't fucking listen at all. Like, they don't give a fuck about anyone. Like, because like, they listen and then they don't. And should be something that they should have listened to a long time ago. So, but yeah, they're a little ass backwards.
Yeah. So I mean, I really have a whole lot I can contribute to that one. Justin is our resident Sony PlayStation expert. So yeah, I like the idea. I like the idea of being able to play this older game.
Yeah.
But the subscription model, like you said, seems a little odd. But I don't know.
Like, there
Maybe
is a
makes
lot
sense.
of games under the subscription base, so like you can play a ton of games with the subscription,
Yeah.
but it's not all. It's not every game.
Yeah.
Like, that would be like paying for Netflix monthly, but then there's a lot of movies on there. They're like, hey, why don't you still rent that? It's like, why the
At
fuck?
an additional charge, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
So-
the thing. I'd like to take a moment and go back to the topics that LA Gamer had posted.
Oh, yes.
So earlier
Yeah, yeah.
he had asked two questions. So now that the big games of the year are out, and I think that's probably like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I don't
of
think there's
much
anything else.
else. Like, I think the only thing I can think of, because I'm a Nintendo fanboy, is Star Fox. But I think that is that 2015 or 2016. I'd have to look it up. And I mean, that's not the same scale of Fallout 4. Let's be honest here. So I mean,
Right.
yeah. Now that really what can reasonably be considered to be the big games of the year are out. Which ones do we think are the best? And like, if there's Game of the Year award possibilities, for any of them. I mean, I'll let Justin go first. He's a little bit more on the up and up with newer games.
For Game of the Year,
Mhm.
obviously Fallout came out just now, but I don't think Fallout is at the caliber of Game of the Year.
Oh yeah.
I think Fallout would only be at Game of the Year if everyone was just basing it off of being Fallout, I
Yeah.
guess. I would say personally the game of the year, and it's a game that I haven't even played, but it's a game that I've watched people play, and then like I'm pretty big into Twitch and stuff like that, so I watch people play games all the time. But I would say The Witcher, Witcher 3,
Oh,
is
nice.
probably definitely the game of the year.
Mhm.
Now I want to say game of the year being like oh, I can't even think of the fucking name of it right now. Life is Strange. Like I would love Life is Strange
Oh, yeah.
to be game of the year, but the thing is that I don't see Life is Strange as being a game, but more of like a storytelling device,
Mm.
So, um, there's a lot of qualities that go into being an amazing game. I think the most of it is like a very good compelling story. I think
Yeah.
so. I think that's something you need for it to be game of the year. But you
Yeah.
also need a game that works
Mhm.
and that hits it off with the fan base and hits it off with people. And Witcher did that definitely by providing a ton of free updates.
Oh, yes.
Having a
Oh,
game that
God.
fucking worked off the bat,
Yeah.
like worked out of box. Like you were able to play it. So yeah, I think they 100% deserve
Mhm.
game of the year.
I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. I mean, CD Projekt Red, they've always been very close with the community, and they seem to. We used this term last week, but they seem to be one of the good guys as far as developers are concerned.
Yeah.
They seem to get it. Which,
Definitely.
Not always the case, especially with the popular games. And you're right, dude. Man, Witcher 3, holy shit, dude! You can't swing a dead gamer without hitting somebody talking about how awesome Witcher 3 is. I mean, it has been immensely popular, and the Witcher series has been good historically. But man, oh man, this one is they really nailed it with this one. So I mean, here's to hoping that that all the success only helps them, and of course, doesn't Activision them or Blizzard them and stuff. Well, I shouldn't say Blizzard them, but like doesn't EA them, or any of these others where
Right.
super popular games compels them to like only make games that emulate that popularity, and then it just then you have Madden, and then you have it's I don't know, it's annoying. But no, I think that's a perfectly legitimate vote for what could be considered the top of the line.
Right.
I was half expecting you to say Metal Gear Solid, honestly.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good one. It is.
That is good. I think in order for Metal Gear Solid to be, well, I guess you're really not. The game's just fucking good, and they released an update today. So
did they really for Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah. There's a follower in Metal Gear Solid that leaves you like in the middle of the story, and you just don't, get that person back.
Yeah.
So but you haven't basically you have an option of doing that mission later because it's technically a side mission, I guess.
Okay.
Or like it's part of the main story, but it's like a side mission. You can do it way later. You can do it early.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the majority of people do it early.
Yeah.
And the biggest cry was that people wanted a way to get this follower back.
Yeah.
Of course, there's mods and stuff you can do to bring the follower back, but they released an update today, and the update basically allows you to get this follower back. The only catch is you have to play the mission 7 times.
Interesting way of doing it.
And then I think on the 7th time, the mission name changes to instead of like retired, it changes to reunited. And then you play the mission, and then you have that follower back.
What an odd way of doing it. Why 7?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's some type of significance.
I mean, if Kojima were involved, I would say yes, but now since he's not involved, I don't think
He's not. I don't think he's involved at all anymore. So.
Yeah, no, I think. I mean, well, Konami will deny it and say that he's still an employee, but I mean,
right. Well,
we all know that's bullshit.
Konami's going to deny that
until December.
Yeah.
When his contract runs up. I hate the fact that it's still talking about the emulator, the PSN Now or PlayStation Now. So that if your internet crashes, you get a game on nostalgia and kabloom, your internet crashes. I don't know what that's like, having an internet outage while you're in the middle of something. That never happens.
The internet is definitely the future, but we're not there yet to where it's crashless. So yeah, I think it's so hard to kind of have a service like that where, it'd basically be GameFly if they didn't do it internet based.
Yeah.
Like they would be sending you CDs, but I guess it's their way of making maybe like a virtual console. I think is kind of their thing. So that's their way of allowing you to play old games on the PS4 hardware.
Yeah. Tekken 7, I haven't heard much about Tekken 7. I know
I haven't either.
I know some people. I know a couple people that have played it, and they really liked it. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I haven't heard much about it. Um, but yeah, so I really can't say. I guess since I have so little exposure to it, I've only
Yeah.
played a couple of the Tekken games throughout the years. So I don't know. I'm pretty ignorant in that regard.
The other one that he talked about was well, anyways, did you have any opinions for Game of the Year?
For game of the year, um, part of my problem is that I just don't play new games. Not out of choice, but just because I just never get around to them. So I really can't
Right.
say. Based on what I've heard, I would probably also go with Witcher 3. Just because I've just heard so many good things and so many people
Right.
saying like, and I would say like, no, I need to play the first two, and people would be like, Alex, skip them, play Witcher 3. Holy shit, it's so good. Like, and people who know my taste are like, dude, you would just devour this game. It's so fucking good.
Yep.
And I believe them because it looks so good. So I
Yes.
just based on nothing but hearsay, I would probably go with Witcher 3. But so yeah, we'll see what happens. And again, CD Projekt, I like them as a company, so I they're not necessarily underdog in this case, but I root for them fairly consistently. So I would like for them to start winning more awards and stuff like that, winning more recognition. Um, but what else? But
The other
yeah.
one he said it was the was Activision
Oh
and
yeah.
or Activision Blizzard basically coming out and saying, "Hey, yeah, we're making a TV film studio.
Yeah.
And we're going to be producing a bunch of films or a bunch of TV shows based upon our games."
Yeah.
Which the first one announced obviously was Call of Duty. So
Oh
the
really?
Call of
I
Duty,
didn't know this.
yeah. Yeah, so the first one that they announced was going to be, and all this was happening as BlizzCon was going on. So like as BlizzCon was going
Okay.
on, they were releasing this information in the background.
Oh.
So like I was watching BlizzCon on Friday, and then as I'm watching it, this thing pops up on MMO Champion, which is where I go to look at all my Blizzard stuff, And he basically was like, "Oh, here's some new information about Activision Blizzard's new TV, like franchise or syndication or whatever." I was like, "Oh my god, really?" And it was like, "Yeah, here's all the things in the works," and it's like, we're gonna think about doing like a Diablo, all these games, like all their top games, they're thinking about doing TV shows for.
Yeah. TV shows or
like,
movies?
TV shows and movies. I think
Okay.
it's a mixture. I think the major thing is TV shows.
Hmm.
But I think what's also happening with this this studio is the fact that last month, so like late last month, the former network head to ESPN and NFL Network and stuff like that actually moved to Blizzard,
Really?
and he is going to be heading their esports network. So what I think the big prep